First, though, back to Chief White House correspondent John Roberts on the North Lawn as this cabinet meeting is ongoing. Good evening, John.
Good evening to you again, Brett. It was a year and 2 days ago that President Trump unleashed the power of the U.S. military against Syria, firing 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles at an airbase from which the last chemical weapons attack was launched. At the time, President Trump warned Bashar al-Assad that there would be serious consequences if he did it again. Well, it looks like Assad did not listen.
Horrible.
The White House says all options are on the table to respond to the suspected chemical weapons attack in Syria. President Trump warning that a decision is coming soon.
We are meeting with our military and everybody else, and we'll be making some major decisions over the next 24 to 48 hours.
Over the weekend, President Trump illuminated a new axis of evil in Syria, tweeting that President Putin, Russia, and Iran are responsible for backing Animal Assad. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov today denied that any chemical weapons were used against civilians in the Syrian town of Douma.
Our military experts have been there, as well as representatives of the Syrian Red Crescent. They have not found any traces of the use of chlorine or any other chemical substance against civilians.
With his cabinet this morning, President Trump appeared to dismiss the claim, saying the attack was perpetrated with banned chemical weapons. And he went so far as to suggest Putin may bear responsibility for the attack.
He may, yeah, he may. And if he does, it's going to be very tough. Very tough. Everybody's going to pay a price. He will. Everybody will.
At the United Nations Security Council, Russia's representative urged international inspectors to come to Syria to see for themselves what happened and warned of grave consequences if the U.S. strikes at Syria. America's UN ambassador Nikki Haley insisted the U.S. will act unilaterally if necessary.
Who does this? Only a monster does this. Only a monster targets civilians and then ensures that there are no ambulances to transfer the wounded, no hospitals to save their lives, no doctors or medicine to ease their pain.
President Trump also laid some of the blame at the foot of his predecessor, tweeting if President Obama had crossed his stated red line in the sand, the Syrian disaster would have ended long ago. Animal Assad would have been history. That criticism was a complete about-face from what the president tweeted 5 years ago when he said the only reason President Obama wants to attack Syria is to save face over his very dumb red line statement. Do not attack Syria, fix USA. The president adding, again, to our very foolish leader, do not attack Syria. If you do, many very bad things will happen, and from that fight, the U.S. gets nothing. All of this comes as President Trump is putting pressure on his military leaders to get U.S. troops out of Syria. Fox News is told if the Pentagon hasn't completed the mission to defeat ISIS within 6 months, the brass will likely get an earful from the president. While the president took sharp aim at Syria, Russia, and Iran, his posture was far more diplomatic in the face of a possible trade war with China.
We have a very good relationship with China, and I think we'll maintain that relationship. I'm very good friends with President Xi. I have great respect for President Xi.
The White House hopes to avoid a trade war through talks with China about leveling the playing field. But the president acknowledged U.S. farmers may feel some pain and promised to help them out.
I tell you, our farmers are great patriots. These are great patriots. They understand that they're doing this for the country, and we'll make it up to them.
President Trump did not elaborate on what he would do to make it up to them, but the press secretary said this afternoon that the agriculture secretary, Sonny Perdue, is looking at something that could be done if farmers start to feel the heat from China. President Trump also indicated that progress is being made toward a sit-down between him and North Korean President Kim Jong-un, saying he hopes to have a meeting sometime in May or early June. Brett?
John Roberts live on the North Lawn. John, thanks.